I just bought this mid-century modern house flip for $2 million on the MLS. If you've been watching my video for a while, you probably know that I rarely purchase anything on the MLS. I strictly purchase off-market deals, but this one came to me while I was on vacation and it's on the market already. But after I run the numbers, I decided that it's a pretty good deal. So I'm going to walk you through it to show you my scope of work, and also towards the end, I will share the numbers and also some tips on finding deals on the MLS. Let's check out the interior. I love these vaulted ceilings. It's really cool, but it's challenging for us to install any lighting. We could either install some track lights or we have to sheetrock the ceiling and then put in some recessed lights. I'm still deciding on that. And then you immediately notice this very unique feature of the home, which is the loft area. It's awesome because it provides additional living space. And I think we definitely want to keep it, but have to update it somehow. And then we have this Asian style divider separating the living room from the dining room, because most people want open concept now, so we'll take it out. And then on the floors, we have quite traditional linoleum floors that's not in the best shape. So we want to replace it with new flooring. And then we have two sliders, each leading to very nice outdoor seating areas. It's definitely a plus because they bring in a lot of natural light. The dining room is right next to the living room, but it feels so different because the ceiling, even though it's standard height, because of all the dark wood, it feels so much like a dungeon. So I definitely want to change that. I'm thinking about painting the ceiling white, and that would elevate the height. And also, this is actually a pretty spacious area. I'm considering adding some cabinets over here on this wall, kind of like a dry bar, so that we can make it kind of an extension of the kitchen, because the kitchen is so small with very limited storage, and this will definitely solve that issue. And then over here we have the stairway going upstairs to the loft. The loft area is a really cool space for an additional family room or a kids play area, but right now it feels quite dark. Again, we may want to paint the ceiling white to brighten it up. And then there is this really interesting looking fireplace that's kind of a fire hazard, so we'll probably take it out and then we'll gain additional space. The kitchen has a black and white theme going on. It's very clean and just needs some updating, but the appliances are in the right spot. And an interesting feature is this light on top, kind of like a soffit light, but it also goes from lower to higher, so it's quite a unique light that I've never seen before. We do want to move this sink potentially to center on the window, so it would be more aesthetically pleasing. And then there's this huge slider that's bringing so much natural light that makes the kitchen the brightest room. And I thought about reducing it to add more cabinets on this side, but it seems like it's too much cost for too little benefit. That's why I came up with the idea to add more cabinets in the dining room instead. This guest bathroom is of a pretty good size, and in the entryway there's the light here that reduces the ceiling height, so we definitely want to get rid of it. And then it seems like someone has attempted some work on this shower wall but never finished it. We probably got everything because nothing's really salvageable, and then we'll use some new tiles and new fixtures to make it look way more modern. This is the first bedroom. It's on the smaller side and it's missing a ceiling light. We want to get rid of the popcorn ceiling and then replace the slider. As I mentioned, we could reduce it to just a window, but I haven't decided on that. And then we see this floor-to-ceiling closet door, which is really cool. And brass is in again, so we could potentially just keep the door, which would save some money. And then on the floors, it's the same linoleum floor that's quite dated and it's broken in places, so we definitely have to replace it. The second bedroom is slightly bigger than the first, and we find this very big track light that's actually plugged into the wall, which is very unsightly and it's a safety hazard. So we definitely want to replace that and put in something more permanent. The primary bedroom is the largest. So in here, we're going to replace the popcorn ceiling, put in new ceiling light, and then we'll also install new baseboards and then replace this very old and damaged linoleum floors. The slider here is nice, that gives you access to the backyard, but the bathroom also has a slider. It really surprised me because it just doesn't make any sense. So we are going to probably just reduce it to a much smaller window that's frosted to give the bathroom more privacy. And then other than that, the second weirdest thing is this giant water tank. So this is a quite old style toilet, and together with the sink will be replaced. And then the shower is on the smaller side. We don't know what's behind this wall, but we're going to have to open the wall and find out, and hopefully we can just push the wall back and increase the shower size, and then it will be a much more desirable bathroom. From the slider in the living room, we get to a little courtyard area. This is a feature that a lot of mid-century modern homes have, and it provides kind of an extension to the living room and a lot of outdoor seating. And there are also two other sliders going to two different rooms. It presents a little challenge for our renovation because these sliding doors are quite expensive. So we're thinking about replacing them with windows, which can give these rooms more privacy. What do you think about this idea? Let me know in the comment. From this other slider in the living room, we get to this very good sized side yard. And we probably want to dress up over here with some plants and maybe mulch. Towards the end, we have some huge bushes that we're going to have to get rid of. And then we potentially would want to remove some of the concrete so that we can put in some sod. And then I really love these huge cypress trees in the back that provides a lot of privacy. There's no neighbor that's overlooking this backyard, which is awesome. In the front yard, we have some drought-resistant plants, but they're not the most attractive things, so we probably will replace them. And the tree will likely stay where it is. And then towards the building, I've done a few mid-century modern flips before, but this house is definitely one of a kind. The pitch is so high up there and it's double the height of the garage, so it makes the front looks a little weird, but we can't really do anything about it, unfortunately. But what we can do is to repaint the exterior so that it gets rid of that very dated peach color. And then we're also gonna fix some of the dry rot and just make the exterior look new again. One thing I found very interesting is this door going to the backyard. The construction makes it feel like it's part of the house, which is very unique. So how did I find this house on the MLS? I actually was on vacation and not thinking about business at all. And then an agent that I worked with a few times before reached out telling me about this deal. I wasn't that interested initially because it's on the MLS and I know there would be competition. Because they priced it reasonably, I assumed that there would be a lot of interested buyers and bid the price up. But the kicker is, this agent who works with me also is in the same office with the listing agent. So we have an insider track. It changed everything. And because of that, I know we have a good shot, so we actually moved on to it very quickly. My contractor went to see the house the next day and we got in contract the same evening. With properties that are on the MLS, it's so important that if you have an insider track, then you have a lot higher success rate. And then to get the insider track, that means you are going to need to build a lot of relationships with different agents. The more agents you know, the more of insider tracks you can have. And then the second thing is, because the property is on the market, you really want to move on to it very quickly. The faster you move, the less likely that there will be other competition. So that's the tips for buying properties on the MLS. And then let's get to the numbers. I purchased the house for 1.9 million and we plan to put about 200,000 into the renovation, and the estimated after repair value is 2.5 million. So we could make about 200,000 in profit. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.